Before you buy another shotgun you cannot actually shoot, let me save you money and your shoulder. In the last video, I recommended 12-gauge powerhouses for seniors. The comments destroyed me. They were right. Today, I am showing you 6 shotguns seniors can actually handle, starting with one that costs less than $200, and that takes the same parts as an $800 Remington. If you are over 60, have arthritis, or just do not want to get beat up, this video is for you. Let's talk about what cheap actually means, because this is where most gun videos get it wrong. Cheap does not mean low quality. Cheap means proven, mass-produced, no gimmicks. These are guns that survived decades of abuse. The Mossberg 500 has been in production since 1961. The Remington 870 has been in production since 1951. When millions of units get made, prices drop. That is economics, not corner cutting. Here is the reality of home defense that nobody wants to say out loud. You are going to be tired, in the dark, with adrenaline dumping through your system. Your fine motor skills disappear. Your hearing is already compromised if you are over 65, and one 12-gauge blast indoors will leave you deaf for minutes. This is not a shooting competition. This is survival. Simplicity beats features every single time. So what actually matters in a senior-appropriate shotgun? Manageable recoil, lightweight, simple controls. And here is the part that makes people mad. Most seniors should not be shooting full-power 12-gauge. I do not care what the tactical bros say. 20-gauge and 410 are not weak at home defense distances. Stock fit matters more than gauge. A gun that fits shoots softer, points naturally, and does not punish you for practice. Number 6. Mossberg Maverick 88, youth model in 20-gauge. Price range around $220. This is where smart seniors start. The youth model has a 13-inch length of pull, which means it fits smaller frames and shorter arms without compromising your shooting stance. 20-gauge recoil is significantly lighter than 12-gauge, but it still delivers serious stopping power at the distances that matter in your home. Here is the secret that competitive shooters know but do not talk about. Get an Opsol mini shell adapter for about $20. Now you can run 12-gauge mini shells in this gun. You get 12 plus rounds of capacity with recoil that feels like target loads. Multiple viewers commented that this exact setup is what police departments recommend to smaller officers. That should tell you everything. The Maverick shares the same receiver and core engineering as the Mossberg 500. It is made in the same factory. The only differences are the safety location and the fixed forend. The crossbolt safety works fine. Millions of shooters prove that every day. This gun will run 10,000 rounds if you maintain it. For $220, you are getting Mossberg reliability with dimensions that actually fit. The downsides are real, though. It is a pump action, so you have to manually cycle it. If you forget to rack it under stress, you are holding a club. The synthetic furniture feels cheap because it is cheap, but it also will not crack, will not rust, and will not care if you store it in a humid closet for 20 years. Number 5. H&R Pardner Pump 20-gauge. Price range $180 to $220 used. This is the gun going in the thumbnail because nobody expects a home defense shotgun under $200 that actually works. But here is why this matters. The Pardner Pump is an 870 clone. It takes Remington 870 parts, barrels, stocks, forends, everything except the heat shield and magazine tube. One commenter said he modified his to a tactical setup for under $250 total. Another said it runs perfect after thousands of rounds. This is the used market secret that saves you hundreds. The finish looks rough, the bluing wears off, but the action is smooth, the lockup is tight, and it chambers every single time. You can find these at pawn shops. estate sales, and gun shows where they sit ignored because they are not fancy. That is your advantage. Mechanically, it is the same gun as an 870. You are just not paying for the Remington name or the pretty finish. If you are on a fixed income and you need a shotgun that works, this is 2 tanks of gas and you are armed. The pump action requires strength, though. If you have severe arthritis, this might not be for you. Finding one in good mechanical shape takes patience. You have to inspect before you buy. But if you find a clean one, you found a bargain that will outlast you. Now I know what you are thinking. 20 gauge is for kids. Let me show you the math. At 15 feet, which is the longest shot in most homes, 20 gauge buckshot puts 8 to 9 pellets on target. Each pellet is 30 caliber. That is 8 to 9 wound channels. 12 gauge puts 12 to 15 pellets. Are those extra pellets worth the recoil that bruises your shoulder and makes you flinch? For seniors, no. Number 4, the Stevens 320. Security in 20 gauge. Price is around $250. This is what happens when Savage Arms, a company that knows how to build accurate rifles, makes a budget shotgun. The quality control filters down from their premium lines. The rotary bolt design locks up tight, and the dual slide bars keep the pump stroke smoother than shotguns twice the price. What makes this brilliant for seniors is the weight. At just over 7 pounds loaded, it has enough mass to soak up recoil. Lighter shotguns kick harder. Physics does not care about marketing. This gun also handles mini shells with the right adapter, giving you more capacity and less punishment. Field reports from budget-conscious departments show these running 5,000 rounds before needing replacement parts. It will not win beauty contests with its no-frills polymer furniture, but when you rack it at 2 in the morning, it chambers a round every single time. The ghost ring sights help with target acquisition in low light. The synthetic stock maintains grip even with sweaty hands. That is reliability you can count on. The downside is the trigger guard safety instead of a tang safety. If you have arthritis in your thumbs, the tang safety on a Mossberg is easier to operate. It is still a pump action, so you have to remember to cycle it. But for $250, you are getting savage reliability in a package that will not beat you up. Here is what nobody mentions about pump shotguns for seniors. The sound of racking a shell is psychological warfare. Most intruders hear that sound and leave. You may never have to fire, but if you do fire, you need something you can shoot more than once without wanting to quit. Number 3, the Taurus 410 Home Defender. Price range around $400. Now we are going to make some people mad. This is a 5-shot revolver chambered in 410 shot shell or 45 Colt. And yes, 410 is considered weak by internet commandos. So is getting shot 5 times with it. Here is why this gun is on the list. No recoil, no pump needed, no jams. Point and pull the trigger 5 times. For seniors with severe arthritis, limited upper body strength, or zero interest in training, this is the answer. At 15 feet, 410 buckshot puts 3 to 4 pellets on target. That is 3 to 4 holes in someone who broke into your house. The reality is this: most offensive gun uses never require firing. The presence of the gun ends the threat. If you do fire, you are shooting across a hallway or bedroom, not across a football field. 410 works at that range. It works even better when the person holding it can actually operate the gun without fumbling. The revolver design means it will fire every time you pull the trigger. No failure to feed, no failure to eject, no forgetting to pump. Just aim and shoot. For seniors who lack the hand strength to rack a shotgun slide or the confidence to operate under stress, this removes every variable except aim. The downside is capacity. 5 shots, that is it. And 410 ammunition costs more than 12 gauge or 20 gauge. You also give up range. Beyond 20 feet, the pattern spreads too wide for reliable hits. But most home defense happens at 10 feet. If you need to shoot someone 30 feet away, you probably should have locked a door and called 911 instead. Number 2. The Mossberg 500 Bantam 20 gauge with an aftermarket recoil pad. Total cost is around $450. I recommended this in the last video, but I recommended it wrong. I said it was manageable without explaining how to actually manage it. Here is how. The Bantam comes with a 13-inch length of pull, designed for smaller shooters. That is your starting point. Then add a limb saver or a Pochmer gel-filled recoil pad. That runs $30 to $40. Now add light target loads or low recoil buckshot. Suddenly this gun shoots softer than most .22s. The Mossberg 500 platform is legendary because it is modular. You can swap stocks, barrels, and chokes in minutes with basic tools. If your needs change, the gun adapts. The tang safety sits right where your thumb rests naturally. Even with arthritis, it is easier to operate than a trigger guard safety. One viewer commented that he has owned his father's Mossberg 500 since 1963. It still runs perfectly. That is 60+ years on one gun. If you maintain it, clean it occasionally, and do not abuse it, this shotgun will outlast you, and probably your grandchildren. The dual extractors and twin action bars mean it cycles smoothly even if you do not pump it perfectly straight. When adrenaline is pumping and fine motor skills disappear, that matters. You can short stroke it slightly and it still ejects and chambers. That is true reliability in a gun that costs less than most pistols. The downside is that it is still a pump action. If you have limited upper body strength, pumping any shotgun gets tiring. And at $450 with the recoil pad, you are approaching the cost of a used semi-automatic. That brings us to number 1. Number 1. A used Remington 1187 or a Beretta A300 in 20 gauge. Price range $400 to $550 used. Here is why a semi-automatic wins for seniors. No pump, which means one less thing to remember under stress. Gas-operated systems are the softest shooting platform for shotguns. The gas system absorbs recoil that would otherwise hit your shoulder. The 1187 has been trusted by hunters and law enforcement since 1987. The A300 uses Beretta's competition-proven action. Both are available used because hunters upgrade constantly. They chase the newest model, which means mechanically perfect shotguns sit cheap at pawn shops, estate sales, and gun show tables. What to look for? Police trade-ins. Cosmetic wear does not matter. Scratches, holster wear, finish loss, none of that affects function. What matters is that the action cycles. The barrel is not pitted, and it locks up tight. Take someone knowledgeable with you, or ask to field strip it before buying. A used semi-automatic in 20 gauge shoots softer than a new pump action in 20 gauge. The gas system does the work. All you do is aim and pull the trigger. If you miss, pull again. No pumping, no fumbling, no forgetting steps. This is point-and-shoot reliability for people who may only fire this gun once in their life when it actually matters. The downside is maintenance. Gas systems need cleaning more often than pump actions. If you let carbon build up, it will eventually malfunction. But if you clean it every few hundred rounds, or once a year, whichever comes first, these guns run forever. The other downside is availability. Finding a good used 20-gauge semi-automatic takes patience and luck. When you find one, you have found the best senior shotgun that exists. If you're still watching, you're serious about this. So let me tell you 3 guns seniors should never buy. Heavy 12-gauge pumps. If it weighs over 8 pounds and shoots full power to 12-gauge, you will hate shooting it. You will fire 1 box of shells. Your shoulder will be purple and the gun becomes a safe queen. Pistol grip only shotguns. Without a stock, recoil control disappears. These are range toys, not defensive tools. Anything bullpup. The action is right next to your face. The muzzle blast, the noise, and the complexity of controls all work against seniors who need simplicity. Here is the truth. Most gun videos will not say, not every senior should own a shotgun. If you have severe recoil sensitivity and refuse to try 20 gauge or 410, a shotgun is not for you. If you have no willingness to practice even once, you will not be able to operate it under stress. If you are small-framed with limited strength and you cannot physically rack the action, you need a revolver instead. If you live in an apartment with thin walls, overpenetration is a real concern, and pistol hollow points make more sense. This is not about selling guns. It is about matching the right tool to the right person. A shotgun is devastating at close range, but it requires physical ability and mental preparation. If you cannot provide both, admit it and choose something else. That is wisdom, not weakness. So here are my recommendations. If you are on a tight budget and you are physically capable, start with the Maverick 88 Youth model, or find a used H&R partner. Both will cost under $250, and both will work. If you can spend $400, get the Taurus 410 if you have strength limitations, or get the Mossberg 500 Bantam with a good recoil pad if you do not. If you can spend $500 and you are willing to hunt the used market, find a 20-gauge semi-automatic and enjoy the softest shooting home defense gun that exists. Reliability beats features. Familiarity beats novelty. Trust what works, not what trends. A $200 shotgun you can actually shoot is worth more than an $800 shotgun that sits in your closet because it hurts too much to practice with. Drop a comment and tell me what you are running for home defense. If you found this helpful, hit the like button. If you want more honest gun content without the hype, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.